Right, hopefully excellent. That's always a good start. Let's click onto that. There we are. Just let me catch up for here while some people come on. There we are. Cool. Let's see who comes on. Let's see whether StreamYard is going to behave tonight or whether StreamYard is not going to behave. Oh no, they've updated. Ah, good. So I can see comments. That's always positive, because the other day, or in the States, they're struggling to see StreamYard people commenting. So at least I can. Right, well, I am in a very dark, like midnight dark conservatory. So I have put my ring light and my main light on this evening ahead of here. And there we are. Let's just move some of this caboodle out of the way whilst we just wait for a few people to come on. Let's just tuck those safely out over there. So we hope that we don't end up with stuff every which way. There we are. Get rid of that, because we've got the usual 3 tons of moulds. Oh. Let's get rid of this. Hi Elizabeth, hi Sue, hi Jan, hi Cynthia, hi Laurie. So for those of you that might be watching for the first time, which of course I know does not apply to any of the current people watching, my name is Jill. I am one of the Pentarts creatives, and I do a weekly Facebook Live for Pentart on their page. And the rest of the week I go live on my own page as and when, generally posting event details. If there is a red squovally type box at the top left of your screen, and that is bright red, then I am live as you are watching the video. If that is not there, then you are watching on replay, which is always a good option. But just leave me a little note to say that you've watched, and hopefully I will know that that's happened. Hi, Juliana. Hi, Barbara. Barbara, I am absolutely loving your work. It's absolutely stunning. I might just be going to borrow the idea of the paper tissues for making a wreath, because it's amazing. Hi, Isabel. Hi, Jill. Welcome, welcome. I trust everyone else is all right. Good evening, Imbra. So I have an A4 MDF panel. They're easy to get. You could use an MDF wood panel. Let's just square that up a little bit. Maybe. There we are. I think that's better. And I think we're all on screen. And this is unprimed. So I'm just going to put down a layer of Pentart acrylic primer, which will give me a nice wet surface. And this is more paintable, unlike the primer paste, which I often have to thin down. This will coat, and it's designed for priming porous surfaces, and of course MDF is a porous surface, so it will work and give me a nice base. So we have got some things. So is everyone okay? Thank you, Sarah. I've seen that you've messaged, but just as I was going live, my darling, so I'll pick up the answer to my question as soon as I have finished. Thank you for responding to my message earlier on. Thank you. I'm assuming, because no one is saying anything, that you can hear me. I know you can see me because I can see me on my own phone. Oops, and I haven't put my apron on. So let's behave before I have any more splodges down my front. There we are. Thank you, Sarah, for tagging all of those people in and for sharing. If we could share as much as possible, it just spreads the information out, and hopefully it keeps me on Pentart's creative team. There we are. So let's just get this there. You're very welcome to my comment, Barbara. I absolutely loved that. I loved your Halloween pieces. Ladies, if you haven't seen them, then just pop over and have a look at Pentart's challenge pieces from today. It is made with a polystyrene wreath base and tissue paper, and it's just amazing. I thought there was a wicker wreath that had been painted, but no. It's polystyrene and it's incredible. It's so lovely. Really is lovely. So let's just pop that onto there. Get rid of that. Stick that into there. Good evening, Liz. Welcome, welcome. So let's just give this a wee little blast dry. Okie dokie, thank you. So there we are. I'm going to give this a dry. So it's at Christmas time, is it not Christmas time? I think it's a bit in between, isn't it? I know some people will definitely be starting to make their Christmas things, but for others, Christmas Eve is as early as they want to go. But I know that I'm away for a couple of weeks at the end of November, beginning of December, and so I have started my my crafty mates for Pentart now, and I've decided that I would mix it up because some period, of course, released their Christmas range in June, because of Christmas in June / July on our Selly Telly, and whilst I picked up one collection then, I felt it was too soon to be making. And then they've released Auto, and I thought, that's got lots of furniture in it. So I've done a bit of combining across Auto and Gear up for Christmas, which I'm hoping will allow me to create a room scene, which, well, that's the plan. So that you're going to have to bear with, as ever. I've got, because this is a properly mixed media piece, rather than just ink and glue counting as mixed media, as it has a habit of doing in some parts of the crafting community. This one is properly mixed media, and I'm layering up lots of different products. I'm going to decoupage a piece of rice paper onto here, but to do that, I definitely need this white acrylic primer to be properly dry. Otherwise, I will spread it about a little bit and end up with white on top of my rice paper, and I don't wish to have that on there. So yes, as ever, I've got 25 tons of gubbins out on my desk. I do actually have an empty rubbish bin today. Something went wrong, and much as you might not know it for now, I have treated myself to some new brushes and chucked out a whole host of them. Hey, I might need to treat myself to a new bottle of this. So this is Pentart's decoupage glue, varnish and glue. So it will glue down my rice paper, but it will also act as a varnish if I pop it over the top. Though I am today going to reinforce that varnishing layer with a layer of proper varnish. So let's just pop that into here. We might, as I say, we might just end up needing to pop this in a bin. Hey, it's not very often I put pots in the bin, but I can do a happy dance when I do, because it's good to be using up stuff, isn't it? There we are. Well, that's given me a nice coat of varnish underneath there. This brush is nice and soft, so hopefully it will mean that I don't get lots of marks. Let's just get rid of that off there, and then let's lay this down nicely at the top. Hopefully we'll get it straight reasonably proficiently. There we are. Hopefully that is then straight. Hey, I like it when a plan comes together. So let's start from the middle, pop it down, So this is just a very neutral background. These are rice papers when you see them that you should just be grabbing. The ones with lots of focal imagery are fine if for a top of a project or top of a box. In fact, they're beautiful for that, but they may be not quite so good for when you're wanting a background and to add layering and detail. This is going to become a background piece. Now, I think this comes from Altogo, but it could just come from the other collection that came out at the same time. There we are. Let's just knock out that air bubble that was underneath there. So let's just give that. And as ever, I'm just going up and down. I'm keeping my glue marks, the glue in one direction. I've got a nice soft brush that really does help when it comes to not having, you know, lots of horrible clunky marks on your piece when you've finished. And I don't want masses. I just need to get this sealed. I'll give it a little blast dry, and then as it's the perfect size for here, then that's, I don't need to worry that. So I am going to make sure, and if you're using antiquing projects, then it's sometimes quite a good idea to seal more than once. It just means that if you've missed any spaces, then you're unlikely to miss them twice, if that makes sense. Hi Sophie, good evening. Hi Debbie, welcome. So let's just get this dry. And then we can add a layer of varnish onto here. So this background rice paper is simply stunning. It's clearly got lots and lots of layers, text, imagery, some grunginess, some could be considered to be shabby wood is a good description. It's a Stamperia rice paper. As I posted the other day, we all know that actually I'm a Stamperia addict. I'm talking about which I know that Penta have on their distribution site the new Stamperia papers. Dewdrop is stunning, and I was going to try to be good and not buy any more before the end of the year. And is that going to happen? No, not a chance. But I did think I was going to just supplement the music collection that comes out tomorrow. And I have been lucky enough to see some of the extra stuff from that. And I probably won't going to be buying any of the extra pieces from that. But I surely will be buying some of the Dewdrop collection. It is just beautiful. And I think very suitable for winter makes. It's got a sort of hint of Blueland, which is one of my all-time favourites. Here we are. Good. Let me just have a clean up of that mat before we then end up with white acrylic primer where I don't want it. There we are. So I'm working on a silicone mat because it gives less glare than the glass mat, if that makes sense. Let's just pop that over there. Give that, get rid of a lot of that, and then hopefully we won't transfer too much stuff around. Excellent. So that has that on there. And I have some varnish. As I say, I am doubling up. And this is the matte varnish. I know I used the Silky Shine varnish, decoupage glue and varnish. Doesn't really matter. I could just as easily have picked up the shiny thing. So this is a varnish. So I'm wanting to be doubly sure that this is sealed properly. And you can see it's nice thin. So we'll go over and we'll self level, which is again helps reduce the number of brush marks that you have in your pieces. There we are. So I just need to get this background area done, then it can sit on the floor Got another layer to go whilst we paint. There we are. Don't need masses, but we do need it to be properly sealed. So let's just pop that into there. Yeah, I think you're right, because Dewdrop Collection is absolutely going to fall in my shopping basket in the next couple of days. That is for sure. I won't be waiting for another design to order. I shall definitely be buying. Good evening, Isabel. Welcome, my darling. So let's just get this varnish there dry. Because one of the steps, if I don't have this properly sealed, will make an almighty mess. And the varnish will help me lift off medium to long term. Yeah. So, is everyone else okay? Are we all happy with life? Are we all interested in what's going on in the world? Have we started our Christmas mates? I have 3 lined up in front of me already. So that's my next couple of weeks of Pentacolor Live, and one for Sunday on my own page. So that will be cool. I just need to get this properly dry. There's no point in trying to short circuit some of these steps. I know that I am a pickle and I often do that, but generally that's when things go wrong. And if I try and put a stencil over the top of this when it's happy and then lift the stencil off, it's going to pull the paper with it. And that will be definitely, not very attractive. So what I would say, ladies, is, if you're going to do this, you could at this point walk away, go and have a cup of tea, not get your heat gun out at all. Just let it dry naturally, and that will work. So that, see, that's still tacky. And I don't want it to be tacky. I want it to be properly dry. And I can see on this side that it's still wet. Oh, very good. Yeah. Oh, gingerbread definitely seems to be a popular theme for this year. I've seen lots, and in fact, gingerbread is one of the ideas I have for a make. One of the makes that's actually on the floor at the moment. We're waiting to happen. After a couple of weeks, I've been doing too much. Okie dokie, Sophie. Well, I hope that means that you're hitting the gym and using the spare time from not crafting wisely. I visited my normal aqua aerobics classes this morning. I think that might be getting there. Right. And did my regular aqua aerobics, and then had to do the family shopping, which is all very well and good. Just has to be done, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. You do have to be slightly careful when you're doing things like this that you don't bubble your varnish. It's still, hopefully we'll get away with it. It's still a bit tacky. And the real risk when you're force drying like this is you dry the surface, but you don't dry everything else, underneath. And that's why it then becomes tacky again. So let's give it an extra bit of a blast. There we are. Excellent. Right, let's go for it, because what's the worst that will go wrong? We'll make a mess. So I have a large A4 damask style stencil, which we're just going to centre on there, and then we're going to take, to make sure it is centered because it will irritate me if it's not. We have Pentacolor Heavy Body Gel Glossy, and that's not something you see me use very often, but it will go on milky but dry, shiny, and that's the whole purpose of this, because my rice paper is the background. So there are lots of damask style stencils that you can purchase, lots on from Stamperia. This is just one I happen to have in my set. It almost certainly does come from Stamperia. It could come from someone else, and if anyone recognises it, and it definitely comes to someone else, please feel free to correct me for the benefit of everyone else watching. There we are. Let's just spread this. Could I have picked a smaller stencil palette knife? Well, possibly. So I've got my palette knife at 45 degrees when I'm scraping it down. Will I use yet another pot up? Well, who knows? Maybe I will. You do want a stencil with a depth to do this. Doesn't have to be very. I think this is probably 230, 240 microns. It's certainly not uber thick, but it's not very one of the very thin ones either. There we are. And absolutely, Sarah, you are completely correct. Crafting is very good for everyone's mental health. It means that we're not sitting stewing. We can be productive. Is that reasonably flat? Okay. Let's just take some of that off there. No, we haven't used it up. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just lift that up off there. And I can now pop that. So you can see that it's got shininess. I'm going to let that dry. Right, let's put that so we don't put our feet in it, because that really wouldn't be very good. Let's pop that on there. Let's pop that on there. And then we'll grab a wipe. That can go there. And let's just get the heavy body gel off that. This possibly is a decoupage cream. Might not be. Anyway, it's a nice damask style wall stencil. So choose whatever you have. There's lots that are similar or have variations from Stamperia. There we are. Let's get that off there, because that heavy body gel will dry clear and solid. And then we'll have a cream crackered stencil, which is not what we want. So we have some well, we have lots of pieces. So these pieces here all come from one of the soft molds from the Autogo collection. These pieces all come from one of the soft molds from the Gear Up for Christmas collection. And so let me just do a little bit of moving around. We'll need that. We don't need that We do need that. And let us pick. So I have some of the creamy acrylics from Pentacolor in the new packets. So there are 10 6mm tubes in here. These colours are all available in the bigger tube, and I'm going to supplement them. So we have brown. And you can say I haven't used these because I'll put a little bit of the brown there. So 16mm, they're nice and creamy. They'll go a long time. There we are, into there. That can sit over there. I want some turquoise. So that's coming from my big set. Let's pop that over there. I will want a green. So that is the ordinary green from there. I have some orange. These are open. I don't see the point in using some of those. Oh, we have some pine green, which is a dark green. These are beautifully thick metallics, and I might need some more brown. We've got grey, we've got red, we've got hazelnut. Excellent. So let's start with the all-to-go pieces and some brushes. Oh, let's just retrieve some brushes that don't look quite like they've been in the wars. There we are. Cool. Okay, so let us take some of this brown. So these have been primed with the primer paste. So let's just add that. So they're cast with the rapid resin. There we are. We'll just pop that into there. So that will give that a nice rich tone. And then we can do the sides of here. It's difficult, isn't it? I don't know. I suppose it can be whatever you want it to be, can't it? In reality, you don't have to have it all in a set colourway. There we are. So let's just add in our wood for our chair with the creamy acrylic. You can see that it's nice. It gives really good coverage. It's a nice thick paint. It doesn't go every which way, but covers beautifully. I'm rather hoping that we'll get away with one layer for the purpose of the live, but who knows? Let's just pop that, swing that into there. There we are. There's a really good collection of colours in the 10mm, in the 16mm tube. So we've got 10 in that pack, which is lovely, and a good starter set for for people who want to try them. Be lovely. And I think we might need a nice deep red for the chair, but let's just carry on. So we're going to take our wooden chest of drawers, because they're wood. It's a chest of drawers, so it's got to be wood in my head. That's Mrs. Literal coming to the fore. There we are. I guess I could have done some of these up front, but wouldn't be fun, half the fun, would it, if we... Let's just cover all of this lot. There's some details in there. I think they might meant to be books or faux books, but we'll cover them with the brown, and then once it's dry we can pick out the details. Anyway, there we are. We don't have to have certainly on the lives, I don't think there's time to. And I can't manage to do my makes with less products because it just wouldn't be a me make if I try cutting down on the pieces. I have a vision in my head when I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do, and yeah, and it's difficult to reset the vision. But having said that, I did take some moulds out of this from the original thought processes. Okay. Oh, so we now have the cupboard. There we are. So let's just there we are. Or the chest of drawers even, isn't it? Or sideboard. Or bookcase even. It's a bit of both, isn't it? With the drawers at the bottom. There we are. Going to need some more of that beautiful brown paint out. It's definitely a softer colour, I think, than the earthy brown that I was using the other day. So the back of there will be coloured. It could, of course, be coloured a different colour, differently. But in my head, my literal brain, there we are. Bookcases are solid brown. So there we are. Right, let's just pop us a little bit more. Good evening, Sheila. Welcome, welcome. There we are. We'll just pop a little bit more of that out there. There we are. Let's just take some of that off there. Might swap to a smaller brush in a minute. And lots of this detail could be brought out either with contour pen, with a little touch of that, or just even with some wax. It doesn't need to be uber complicated, does it? Yeah, wax will work quite well. So I reckon that shelf should be brown. And I will definitely swap to a smaller brush, and this piece can be brown. It's a swirly thing, I don't know, maybe it's just meant as an ornament, I'm not sure, but anyway, there we are. The globe we will tackle once this layer is dry. We can then tidy up, so it's quite helpful to get into the depths first, and then you can dry the tops and then get into the rest of it. There we are, with a smaller brush. I just find it easier to get that surface layer down relatively easily. There we are. Okay. So let's just take our rabbit, and I'm going to soften that colour a little bit for the rest. It's all right, my darling. You have just been very busy, sweet pea, and we all understand looking after you and your family is more important than anything else. So we're here to support you. That goes without saying. If we can't look after each other, it's a very sad world. Right, let's get those look to have reasonable coverage. I'm just going to soften that brown because I don't necessarily want my teddy bear from the Gear Up for Christmas to be quite so brown. There we are. There we are. And again, I'm just going to get a layer over here, and then we can add in the details once it's dry. There's a beautiful bow in there, which we will get out. Honestly, we are. Right, there we are. There we are. Good. So that can sit there and dry. Let's just give that a little bit of a wriggle. And I want almost a burgundy red. I'm not too sure what shade of red this is. So let's just pop that into there. So that's definitely a very bright red. Okay. Let's just clean that mess, because it's going to be better. So we might just darken that down with, get that out of there, because otherwise it's going to irritate and will look horrible long term. Oh, ow, oh, ow, oh, ow. Let's find a pokey tool. Fish pie, broccoli, peas and sweet corn. That sounds very scrummy. Well, my loving daughter saw a recipe for fancy pigs in blankets. You split a big sausage and you fill it with a little bit of cranberry sauce, then some brie, wrap the whole lot in bacon, and then air fry it. So that's what she's doing when I'm in the middle of the night. It's really not on, isn't it? But hey ho. We don't have a what am I going to darken that with? I think I'm going to darken it with just a tad of this dark blue. There we are. So we might end up with a slight purple shade, but that's okay. It won't take us so long, Sheila. I'm fairly at. It did sound rather lovely. So, yeah, in my shopping trip, we went out and got them. That's better. That's well, that's definitely. It's a rich, decadent colour, but it's a bit more purple than I want. And you saw how little. Let me just grab. Right. We'll open that flipping red again then and add a bit more of that into there and hopefully not make too much of a mess this time. There we are. She may need to practice at your house. I take it you like that idea then too. Oh, that's better. So it's that's a nice, rich, almost Bordeaux-y colour. Yeah. Just by colour mixing. As we know, I do quite a lot of colour mixing, and I will go back. So I'm wanting the leather back of my chair to have that nice rich feel. There we are. It's a beautiful colour just by mixing red and that dark blue together. And if you haven't got a colour wheel and don't understand the theory of colour mixing, then it's absolutely worth investing in one. There are warm colours and cool colours, primary, tertiary, secondary, and all the rest of it. And I never pay much attention to the things. If you think that basically the colours that you mix to get orange, green, then you work. If you put all three primary colours, so red, yellow, or red, magenta, and blue together, then you will absolutely end up with brown. And then just to complicate things, you can have red-based blues and purple-based things, depending on what they've put in. So that, I think, now gives that quite a rich... Well, I did use it the other day, absolutely. So let's just add some extra details into here, into our bookcase. So let's just paint this book in that nice rich purple. There we are. We'll need to be slightly more careful. There we are. We've missed some of that, but never mind. Let's just pick out, let's pick out that one. Always come back and add some more. I think we're going to make that book there also in that nice rich purple. There we are. Let's just cover it into there. There we are. Let's give that a good wriggle. Hi Betty, hi Lorraine, welcome my darling. Good evening Lynn, welcome, welcome, welcome. Right, so do I want bright orange? No, because I'm going for subtle, more subtle. So I'm just going to mix that, some of that burgundy with some of that bright orange. And you can see how just by colour mixing, I'm changing the tonality of my pieces. And we might add some of that into here. So I don't particularly want rust, but I do want these to have a colour value that is similar. So the brights will not work. There we are. Let's just take that one and pop that up into there. I think we might have another orange one there. Okie dokie. Right, excellent. And I think we're going to go back to that burgundy for this that says happy house, because we have happy houses at Christmas, don't we? There we are. We can pick up some of that so we can have some tonal mixture on it, but that's okay. There we are. Cool. Right, excellent. So let's give that brush. They are absolutely molds, Lorraine. These come from All2Go by Stamperia. Now, let's just pick up a nice small brush and some of that turquoise. So we've got a little globe here. Oh, that wasn't sensible, was it? Picking up that one. There we are. Let's just that, and then we might get some matte black in. I've done it again. You don't honestly, you wouldn't believe it if you tried, would you? There we are. So let's just pop some of that into there. There we are. Cool. We might need some black out in a minute. And then, so let's just take some of that, and I think we're going to add to that book at the top. With a much smaller brush, some of that blue. And by mixing it with some of the orange that's there, it's softening the colour down quite nicely. What do we want to do? I think we're going to do you in blue. So we've got 3 areas that are blue, 3 areas that are the orange, 3 areas that are the red, custom mixed. I might well put some of the orange, that burnt orangey colour that I chose for the top, onto the bottom. So let's just get rid of that. Wipe that off. Thank you, Betty. There we are. Let's just pick some of that orange, some of that, remake that colour near enough. There we are. I think I need a bit more orange in there. I'll squash out a bit more of the brown in a minute, because I can see some areas that I definitely need to top up. in a minute. There we are. So I'm hoping that that's shown that you don't have, it doesn't have to take forever to do what's quite a complicated mould. So let's take some of that nice brown, pop it into there, wipe off the yuck off your fingers. Put that back into there, and let's just do the stem of that globe in the brown. By the time we add some wax, it really won't matter. So we're going to go brown for that part of the clock. There we are. It won't take us forever to do all of these, and we'll be able to lighten it up ultimately. There we are. Okay, so let us find some ivory. So this is a creamy white ivory, creamy acrylic. Oh, I apologise. Let's just hope that that hasn't knocked you too off kilter. There we are. And yeah, I've got a dirty brush, but that's okay. There we are. So let's just give that. Thank you, Betty. So the new collection from Stampede doesn't appear to have soft moulds. It's definitely got silicone moulds in it. So let's see what we can do in here. Let's just paint some of this detail in with some of these extra colours. Lighten it up a little bit. Some of those will be visible on my finished piece and some of them will not. And I said lighten it up, but actually it's all quite dark, isn't it? But that's okay. Let's just wipe that, wipe that, like that. And let's just add some of that blue into here. There we are. Cool. Lovely. Right. So let's just pop those over there for the time being. And then decide what we wish to do. I'm going to mix some of that, some of that. There we are. So let's mix some of the turquoise and some of the green. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. There we are. So that's going to give me, that's the pine green and the turquoise is giving me rather a light, nice shade. And I think that that will give me a British racing green car. Well, that's the intention anyway. There we are. The pine green is a bit too dark, but mixing in just that little bit of turquoise softens the colour at no end. There we are. I think that will work quite nicely. Let's just pop that underneath there. Let's just pop that bit underneath there. There are some little cogs in there and steampunky bits. As I say, it comes from Gear Up to Christmas by Farrell. So let's just pop that into there. We're going to have to give that a blast dry to paint the leather on the seat a different colour, but that's okay. There we are. Oops, lets me pop that over there. So there's masses of detail on this mould. There we are. we have some little holly leaves on here, so that's going to come into here. Let's paint these whilst that green is still mixable. There we are. You can always add extra details as we need to. Got some rivets and things on here. There we are. There we are. So that's that one. Have I got all of those? I think I have got all of those. Now I think we're going to have a green parcel. Which has a tied-on lid. There's a step there to catch you out. There we are. There we are. Have a bright red bow on that. Let's have a green bow on this one. We're going to be going back to bright red in a minute because I'm rather liking the idea of pure bright red for some of these. Properly Christmas, isn't it? A nice bright red colour. Let's just roll that, neaten that brush end up, no end. And tidy that up when we paint the main piece. And then let's just do these ribbons. Oops, she says, splodging that where she doesn't want it, but hey ho, but that's okay. We'll tidy that shortly, because that's what happens, isn't it? Not careful. There we are. Ridge will be seen, so let's just do that. There we are. Okay. Right, what colour shall I want my hat? I think I'm actually going to mix some of that green with some of my reddy brown, I think, to darken it. And I'm going to get a really muddy colour here. It's not black, but it's a really nice dark chocolatey colour with an undertone of that green. So that can go onto there. There we are. And we could spend forever. We really could spend forever picking out all of these details. And we might, as I say, you do what makes you happy. Oops, she says, having made a mess of that because she's painted lots of that green, that muddy brown onto there. But I already know I need to get some of that brown back out that I'm pre-mixed. So let's just take that. Have a lovely evening, Betty, my darling. Have a lovely evening. So let's just take some of this brownie mix, sort out that area and the bit down here that we clearly didn't see. There we are. Excellent. Okay. We've got cog and metal. Just going to pop these all in that self-made dark brown so they look like they're almost rusty. And we can highlight them with a wax to bring out the details. There we are, just tuck that into there, tuck that into there. spin that round. And you could make those properly rusty if you wanted to, but I don't think you'd have rust in the house, would you really? Metal, yes, but rust, you'd probably not want too much that's very rusty in the house. Right, let's swap that over there. There we are. Let's just pop this bit of that red into there whilst that dries. So I might take that reddy brown and do the top parts of that train. So I'm keeping my colours tonal and using the same ones across the piece so that I've got a degree of cohesiveness to the final project. I'm going to have a red train, but it should have some highlighty bits, and I'm going to get some black out in a minute. But black's such a harsh colour. Sometimes it's nice just to use something that's dark but not as harsh. There we are. We're getting there. And in the meantime, on the floor, the Heavy Body Gel Glossy is quietly drying. Okay. Right. There we are. Let's just pick that up and pick this. There we are. So this sign says Merry Christmas. There we are. Let's keep that banner to that red for Christmas. The furniture's all muted, but that's fine. There we are. We're getting there, ladies. You'll be pleased to know. Here we are. Roll off that paint. Keep to a nice point on the brush. Really will make life much easier. There we are. Turn that round. They are lovely, Bev. They are really lovely. I think Dawn will have them in. She should have them in. Don't know, that's where you're doing lots of your lives, isn't it? On her page or in her group. There we are. So let's just have some red berries. Get rid of that. We've got a nice red berry here. Yeah. Gonna have a red train in a minute as well. She says, excuse me, ladies. Right. I'm going to stick those out of the way because my back has had enough. I'm going to do what you don't very often see me do on a live, and that's sit down. So if you lose my head, yes, no, I saw that you were using them last night, but I didn't think I should comment and say that's what I was doing. on my live today. They are beautiful moulds. There we are. So I'm just going to sit myself down. I normally do my lives all standing up, but I think age is catching up on me. And my back is beginning to say, you need to sit. So we do have some little bits of touching up that we're going to need to do, but that's okay. We are getting on. I did take out 2 or 3 moulds from my original plan. There we are. Because I just thought that it was going to be too much. We're certainly going to be over an hour today, but that's okay. You can't do everything, can you? There we are. So let's just do our engine in the red. And we'll get some more of that red out in a minute. Because I've got some presents to do. And we'll not manage that without some more red. There we are. But we are getting there, ladies. We are definitely getting there. There we are. So if you're using a powder base, the Dekoratőr or some of the plasters, then the paint sinks in a lot more and you get a softer colour. Just going to leave that. So let's take this one and let's sort out our ribbon on here. So there we are. Let's just lift that up onto there so you might be able to then see what we're up to, because we might just be here a wee while. There we are. There we are. Hello, Connie. Welcome, my darling. Never late. We all have lives, and it's always difficult, isn't it? And there's certainly that many live streams going on at the moment in the UK that it's impossible to see all of them as they go out. It just is. So all I'm doing is picking up some of that red paint, rolling my brush slightly, and then a nice detailed brush. Could go even finer, but I'm not going to. We'll be here definitely until the cows come home if I opt for an even finer brush. There we are. So who's going to be buying the new Dewdrop collection? Who saw the Stamperia live today? The music collection that they're promoting tomorrow is an old collection. One that I've made plenty of pieces with in a past life. There we are. So we've now got a nice bright red ribbon on that mould. That green paint wasn't quite dry, so we're going to have quite a dark mould, but hey ho, we'll worry about that. Let's stick some more into there. And I've lifted off some of the green because it's not completely dry, so I shall sort that out with my finger in a minute with some paint, more of that green paint. There we are. Let's just pop that into there. Okay. Yeah. All adds to the fun of life, isn't it? There we are. Definitely going to need to tidy up that one, but that's okay. Let's just wriggle that. Grab a wipe. Yeah, I've done exactly the same, Connie, and then decided that I couldn't. Well, I haven't yet spent it, but I have to say I've been sorely tempted. It is rather beautiful. I can see a little bit of white poking in there. Right, excellent. Now to tackle the bow on our teddy bear. Can you see? Well, I pock some of them on my mucky hands, but there we are. I apologise. I might give them a clean in a minute. Right. So I've now got a nice red bow on there. I'm conscious that I have some black to do, and I just want to soften the paw of that teddy bear. So the pad is not quite as dark as the rest of it. And I'm going to soften his nose a little bit as well. There we are. Excellent. So let's just retrieve a little bit of that black. Where did I put my pick? That's where I put my pick. Well, I didn't. I put my knife actually, but there we are. So let's just open that, hopefully without. Well, did I want white? No, ladies. Did I want black? Yeah. Have I got black out? Oh, really? What do you like? I can retrieve black. I'm sure I can retrieve black. There will be black. Is that blue? Brown, white, pink, no black. Okay. I knew I'd seen a black. Has to be black in a set, doesn't there? Absolutely has to be black in a set. There we are. So let's just pop some of that black out onto there. I'll stick some of this mess out of the way. There we are. That can go over there. That can go over that. Right. And then we'll think about what colour we want to do that. So let's just take some of this and do the wheels of our train with the black. There we are. And off a live, and I'm afraid to say that whenever you're doing a live, it maybe not be your best work because you're time limited. Well, yeah, certainly for these I am, and yeah, I'm likely to walk away from these when I'm painting at home, not on a live, and then come back and add more details in. So today we're going to be relatively lazy. We're going to actually add our details with wax. Yeah, it's quite a useful way of adding. So there is our fender of our train going into there. Let's just add that. And then let's just add a little bit of red onto there. Black, that black around there. Look a little bit warm, but that's okay. There we are. Back. There we are. So let's just get this covered, because the bits that are going to be showing, I definitely want to look respectable. I don't want to have to repaint everything because I don't like it. There we are. Okay. Don't have a problem adding a little bit onto there. So let's just take the black, and then let's just do our wheels all in black. We can add the detail with some wax. I've only got a gold wax out for tonight, but you could add a sparkling silver if you wanted to for some of these areas. That would also look quite nice. I'm going to have to give some of these a jolly good blast in a minute. I can feel that the paint is tacky where I have layered it on, but we all have some nice pieces. Ultimately, I get that with my messy hands that's quite difficult to see what I'm doing, but this is just the wheels of the car that we're currently painting away quite happily. There we are. Let's just do inside there. There we are. Doesn't have to be uber detailed. I'd say it's amazing how what detail adding some wax will do to some of these. There we are. Okay, I can see a bit of black on there. My usual trick for very small areas, like the eyes on my bear, is going to be to add the black with a little pit needle. Just allows me to dot it where I want it. I'll have a little bit of a black nose. There we are, I think. There we are. Right, excellent. Let's give that a little bit of a clean and pick up some of that. I'm just going to take that out of there. There we are. Smush that about. Okay. And I'm going to pop that needle before I make a mess of it. Thank you, Stephanie. That's a really lovely thing for you to say. So, do we want another red? Yeah, I think we're going to go for another red parcel. Let me just give that, I might just whiz this, and then I'm going to get some gold out. There we are. I'll go red and gold with a gold bow. Why not? Why not, she says. Artistic license. You can do what you want, really, can't you? That's the joy of painting for yourself. I'm aware that I've muddied that with some green, but it'll help tie it all in, so that's all right. I can cope with that. Let's just pop that into there. So we can give some of these a little bit of a blast, and then we can. There we are. See every colour under the sun, aren't we? Every colour under the sun. I can see that I've missed a little bit of that green there. Well, if I didn't miss it. Right, let's just give that over there. And then I have some gold. Let me turn that messy palette all the way around. Oh, and pour out 3 tons too much, but that's also okay. There we are. So there's a little star on the Gear Up to Christmas mould. It says Merry Christmas. So a nice bright, this is a beautiful bright gold colour. There we are. There we are. We're getting there. And I am going to add some antiquing. Let's just dry brush that. So if you look, I've got a relatively small amount of paint on there. I'm just picking up over that dark brown. So giving the cog a metallic-y feel without having to reach for the wax at this point. There we are. There we are. So it looks like an old piece there. Right. Let's I need to add some more gold onto some of these pieces. So some of these just need to be dried just a little bit before we decide to really stress our fingers and our hands. Okay, so let's just add just a little bit of gold to our car. There we are. I think that's looking quite nice. Don't want that. The car wouldn't be pristinely clean, would it? So let's just add a little bit onto the top of that. Let's just neaten that just a little bit on that seat. There we are. And I can see that I've got some issues with that black, that where it's not quite dry. So there we are. We'll pop that in. If I end up with a bit of the gold mixing in, it's not a disaster. There we are. Right, let's go for it. Let's give this a gold bow, and then we'll find some wax, because otherwise we're going to be here at a silly o'clock tonight, which is okay. I don't have anything better to do, but I strongly suspect some of you might have something better to do. There we are. There we are. And if we used an antiquing gel over here, then we would cover up all of those imperfections. But hey ho, life is definitely too short for that tonight. Right, have we got that done? Well, we've got it done as near as we're going to get it done from that point of view. So let me pop that there. Let me give my hand. No need to be sorry, Elizabeth. No need to be sorry at all. Let me just give the muck on my hands a good clean. And I tell you what, just bear with, because I am going to grab the sparkling silver wax from, some silver wax from my, oh my God, this is sparkling silver, excellent, good. There we are. The thing is, like, we all give up our time to do these for, you know, for nothing basically. So there we are. So let's just add, see, onto here. We'll suddenly be able to see some of that detail into here. There we are. Okie dokie. Add a bit more of that gold onto there. Right, we've got there we are. Just gives that a little bit of richness to the piece. And there we are. Let's just pop that gold onto there. Brighten up that chair. It's amazing how much detail, you know, just adding that wax does to our pieces. So let's just a thin layer over here. Hopefully catch up. There we are, thicker there, and we'll catch the little baubles. There we are. That will work. You can see how all of this detail then just pops with adding that wax onto here. So the ornament can come back out. I'm using the gold at the moment, but the sparkling silver, as you say, is absolutely lush. And it just, the waxes are just adding, you know, an extra layer onto here. There we are. And it brings it all together. Okay, let's take that, actually, let's take the gold and just pop it onto there. And I can see some bits of black that will irritate me down in the depths of here. That's just very watered down, but that's fine. It's just going to add a little bit of extra into that. There we are. And I can clean up that present. Oh, she says losing. This present is looking distinctly yucky messy, but that's okay. We can have a little bit of a clean up of that. And most of it's going to be hidden. we are. Okay, let's just add some more of that red onto our bow on our there. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so our bear is sorted. Those are sorted. Those are sorted. Let me give those a little bit of a glass dry. And I'm going to add some sparkling silver onto some of these pieces, which will give it a very different feel. Should be the top of that dry. Okay, that can go there, that can go there. So this is the sparkling silver. It's just going to add a metallic-y sheen onto the surface of that. There we are. It might be a bit mixed with the gold, but actually they're now looking infinitely nicer than they were. There we are. Okay. It's beautiful. You have Dawn Bibby to thank for me loving that, because I would never have bought something titled Sparkling Silver in a month of Sunday, Sarah, if it wasn't for Dawn. Right. Oh. Right, let's just stick some of this lot out of the way, because that is not completely dry yet, in spite of being in front of the fan. So I can see there's a shine, but I appreciate that you won't be able to. But I do want to add some antiquing to this to darken the recesses and the pattern of the stenciling pop through. I just need to be patient now. But what was opaque is now definitely much clearer. I do not require a piece of cardboard in there. Oh, I can't get away with it yet. I think Dawn is just too busy to watch. Let's just get this dry. So this is the decoupage and varnish background with the heavy body gel glossy on here, and I appreciate that. You can see the shine, and that's going to protect parts of that behind it. Really not bright enough. So we will just have to be. Yeah, she's a good enabler. Well, that's her job, isn't it, when she's selling? Yeah. And I think I might have stood on it at some point. But hey ho. Don't worry about that. Right. So I have a pot with some water in it. I possibly don't need such a large amount. So let's just throw some of that out and grab the paler of these. So the umber is a really dark brown, and the brown is a much softer brown. And we are going to make a spray. So I'm just going to stick some of that into there, and all I have in here is water. I haven't got anything more fancy in here. Let's just give that a jolly good mix up. Might need a bit more in there. It looks like I've been mean. Yeah, we're going to need a bit more in there. Definitely looks like I've been mean. So there we are. Easier to add than it is to take away. Though having said that, it does seem to actually cope quite well with being kept. Yeah. Right. So whilst I get this to dissolve in here, I can carry on and give this a bit of a glitz. It dissolves relatively easily, as you can see. I've now got a muddy mix. Might need a bit more colour in here. Looking at that. Yeah. We're going to need a bit more colour. I tell you what, we're going to be lazy then. We don't want that one. It's definitely softer when you add the spray. Right, let's now give that. So now I think you can definitely see the colour in my stenciling. And because I've diluted my antiquing gel, don't you worry, Alison, my darling. We all have busy lives. So I do lives every Tuesday pretty much for Pentart. It might take a while because I just sprayed quite a lot on there, but there you go. It has done what I wanted it to do. Let's just get rid of some of the water. Whatever that mucky bit is in there. And I will be able to go back and add some more colour if I want to. So I get some of this, I definitely do need to have dry, otherwise I can't really show you what I'm thinking. That's better. There it is, there it goes. Just some areas that I definitely have to have dry, otherwise I can't add the embellishments that was just lovingly made into here. Yeah, so I can see the patterning into here. I might just try darken it. I'm a little bit reluctant. I might end up with a darker colour than I really want, but I definitely want a bit more than I've got. But I've got so much water on here now. That hopefully it's not going to be too dark because I've got so much water onto here. There we are. And then I can wipe off the surface what I don't want. You can see now we've got a mucky mess, and that's true, we have. There we are. That's better. Aha! Yeah. So it was worth adding. There we are. Right, excellent. So I tell you what, because that is so wet, we might just have a little bit of a pickle here, but that's okay. Let's pop that in there. Let's pop that over there. Let's stick that on the floor in front of the fan heater. I'm just going to ink around the edges. So these are a mix from All To Go. So these are ephemera because they are more robust, with a Stamperia permanent ink. Some of these are actually papers from All To Go, but some of these are not. I find the chipboard's just a little bit too thick for my liking. So we've got a little mouse. Now she's gorgeous. She is from Gear Up for Christmas, whereas Daddy is from, no, she is from All To Go, whereas Daddy is from Gear Up for Christmas, and as is Mummy. You can see the story that was forming in my head. These are just pieces of paper cut from one of their All To Go paper pads. There we are. And this is the Christmas tree that obviously comes from Gear Up to Christmas. And there should be somewhere around another one of those. But hey ho, we'll work with what we can see. There was definitely 3 of those. I can see where it is. There we are, tucked under there. There we are. Right. So let's just pop those over there. Let's pop over there. Okay. Let's get our big pieces into place. So we're going to pop that into there. We're going to pop that onto there. We need some spacers. I will glue these on after the live when it's all had a chance to dry, but you'll be able to see where I'm going from these. There we are. Let's stick those into there. So those are literally just canvas spacers, and my chair is going to go onto there. Yeah, let's just take those out of the way. And then we want that's going to sit up there, and we're going to have a pile of books on the floor. We're going to have some letters on the floor. We're going to have our Hoppy House there. That's going to sit there. We need another canvas space. So it's just as well I've got lots of them. It's just as well I've got lots of them. Oh, ow, oh, ow. There we are. Okay. So Mummy is going to sit on there. Daddy is going to sit there. the little mouse is going to sit on there. We're going to pop the Christmas tree in here. We're going to have our teddy bear sitting next to it. And a little piece of my holly tucked underneath there. Yeah. The train is going to sit on there. That needs to move over because my car is going to sit there with that there. And then we're just going to tuck our presents underneath because they are going to partially support things. So let's just tuck that over there. Yeah. So they are helping support all of those pieces. We have another piece of holly there. I think we're going to pop another piece of the holly into there. And we have some extra pieces to tuck in underneath here. Okay, so here is our Christmas living room. So we've got a nice rice paper background with lots of texture in it. We've distressed it slightly. It's subtle, but that's what I want. I didn't want it to be brown and grungy. We've got our Christmas tree. We've got Happy House, Merry Christmas. And then we've got our characters in the bottom. So I will glue those all on once the background is fully set, obviously with my heavy body gel mat. I hope that you like. Thank you. Thank you that's lovely. Thank you. It's a huge project to do on a live. It really is a huge project to do on a live. So thank you so much for bearing with, watching all the way through. It's so appreciated. Please remember to support my fellow creatives. There is a live in Hungarian tomorrow, which if you're an experienced crafter, you'll be able to follow with just the demonstrations because she's very good. And then Teresa Rene from the USA is going to be doing a live in English on Thursday. Remember to look after each other online. Being kind costs us nothing and may mean the world to those that you are kind to. So for now, that's all I want to do. Take care, and I will see you either on Sunday on my own page or next Tuesday for Penton. Bye.